Good morning and welcome to Solent Sports News. My name is Kit McIntosh, it's 1:30 and these are your sporting headlines. Following International Women's Day, Southampton FC have announced a new partnership that aims to support their female fans. The Saints are now aligned with Her Game Too, an organisation that aims to tackle sexism in sport. Southampton FC women also took this chance to announce that there has been a 453% increase in attendance since last year. Match of the Day pundit Gary Lineker has responded to critics after he took to Twitter to express his frustration with the government's current migrant policies. The 62-year-old likened the language used to launch the policy to that of 1930s Germany. Questions of his position at the BBC are now being asked as he appears to have violated the BBC's impartiality guidelines. Manchester City defender Kyle Walker is facing an investigation by Cheshire Police after CCTV footage released on Monday allegedly depicted the footballer exposing himself in a Manchester bar. The club are yet to provide a statement on the issue regarding the England star. If guilty, indecent exposure carries a maximum sentence of 2 years. There was Champions League action last night. German giants Bayern Munich stomped out all hope for the likes of Kylian Mbappe and Lionel Messi as the German league leaders won 2-0 at home to PSG. In North London, there was tournament trouble again for Spurs as they crashed out of the Champions League after a goalless game against AC Milan, which saw the Italians progress on aggregate. This leaves Spurs and manager Antonio Conte in an awkward position. Here in the studio to tell us more is Ollie Power.
Yeah, so despite, fighting out for a 0-0 draw last night, it was the 1-0 in the reverse fixture to Milan after an early Brahim Diaz goal that sent Spurs crashing out, which leaves them again another season trophyless and a lot of scrutiny on manager Antonio Conte.
So now where does this result leave Tottenham this season?
Yeah, after the North London side, have crashed out of the FA Cup, losing to Sheffield United a few weeks back, 1-0, and failing to even get past the third round against Nottingham Forest in a 2-0 defeat in the League Cup, it does not leave them in a good position. They sit fourth in the Premier League, having lost 9 games this season, which is just 2 short of the total all of last year. It's not a great situation for Spurs. They've not won in 3 games in all competitions, and they've only won 2 in their last 6 in the Premier League.
So now, what do you think this means for manager Antonio Conte?
Well, the veteran Italian manager is having a mediocre season at best for Spurs. As I said earlier, 9 losses all season. They've got Harry Kane firing for them, second top scorer in the league, but their defence has been so leaky, conceding, I think, 36 goals in just 26 games. And it doesn't look good for Conte right now.
And you mentioned Harry Kane just a few moments ago, a player who's now lost yet another opportunity to lift a trophy. What does this mean for him? Yeah,
the England international, recently took over as Tottenham's highest scorer ever, 3rd highest scorer in the Premier League now with 201 goals to his name, but still without a trophy. And it sort of makes you think, when is he going to move on? Because does he want to win a trophy? And it's getting a bit unprogressive now, and I think it is probably time to move on for him, although we do say that every year. But yeah, it could be an awkward summer for Spurs after another poor season.
Well, thanks very much for that, Ollie. Still in football, Manchester United star Bruno Fernandes has been labelled as an inspiration by head coach Erik ten Hag. The midfielder was accused of not fulfilling his captaincies and was called a disgrace by club legend and pundit Gary Neville at Anfield. Fernandes struggled in the record-breaking 7-0 defeat to North West rivals Liverpool, and has been scrutinised after asking to be substituted. Former England international Scott Parker has been sacked from his position as manager of Club Brugge. The decision comes after just 12 games in charge of the Belgian champions. Parker has won only 2 games in his tenure, and after losing 5-1 on Tuesday night to Benfica in the Champions League, the club owners quickly have taken action.
I'm not naive enough to not understand the situation and where it is. Took over a club and in this position, which was obviously struggling at that point, hence why I came in really. And it's been a challenge. There's been a lot of challenges, and this is where it is.
England's cricketers have been beaten by 6 wickets in the first T20 match against Bangladesh. The hosts reached their target of 157 with 2 overs to spare in Chattogram. Bangladesh take a 1-0 lead in the 3-match series. British tennis number 1 Emma Raducanu is hopeful she'll be able to compete at the coveted Indian Wells Masters tournament. A returning injury meant Raducanu had both wrists strapped up and looked set to play through the pain in the exhibition match before pulling out last minute. The 20-year-old is due to play Montenegro's Danka Kovanic today at 8:15 p.m.
No, I wouldn't say is the bottom. I think there are further places down to go. I think that it has definitely been an experience, and I've learnt a lot from, trying to climb my way back up. And I think the biggest thing is just putting the work in consistently day in, day out as much as I can.
Continuing with tennis, Andy Murray has announced that he's feeling the best he is in a long time after world-class performance at the start of the season. Murray plays Argentina's Thomas Martin Echeverry in the first round of the tournament tonight at 8:30 p.m. Golf now, and the PGA Tour's Players' Championship is underway, with golfers teeing off at TPC Sawgrass in Florida earlier today. This year the tour boasts a $25 million purse, but the event has been surrounded by controversy regarding the tour's rivals Live Golf. England's Matt Fitzpatrick has become the latest PGA golfer to lash out at the Live Tour, claiming he would not allow players that left the Saudi-backed circuit to ever return. Players who left to fall at Live have already been indefinitely suspended by the PGA, including former champions Cameron Smith and Dustin Johnson. Coming up at 3:30, reporter Fraser Day heads down to the Solent Sports Centre to talk to futsal captain Roberto Vincent after his side was crowned champions thanks to their unbeaten run in the league. And Saj Rahman shows us a preview of what to expect. That's all for now. We'll be back with more sporting headlines at 3:30. But in the meantime, you can read up on all these stories and more at solentjournalism.co.uk. Thank you for watching Solent Sports News.